Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sober Jable. I am Joshua Abel, and today is my Friday. So I'm super pumped up. I went to bed last night a little bit after 1 a.m. I got home on my super speedy moped. I'll have to take you all out on a ride today if I can manage to hold the phone while driving. I think some of my wrinkles kind of blew away in the wind while riding that thing. I've gotten up to like 45 miles an hour now. So I got to kind of watch my speed so I don't get a speeding ticket. I got up a little bit before 6 a.m., so I didn't get much sleep, but it was a good sleep. And I woke up sitting outside having a cup of coffee and whatnot, and the sun started coming up, and it was a beautiful sunrise. So I think it's going to be a pretty good day. Now, yesterday I was able to pay off, or not pay off, but pay a couple of bills. I paid my phone bill, so I'll have a phone for another month. How exciting is that? And I was able to pay for my insurance, so I won't get pulled over for not having insurance. So suck it, bill collectors. Yeah, so that's how my day's going so far. I think it's going to be a pretty good day. The rest, I have to work tonight, but again, like I said, it's my Friday, so I'm going to go in with the attitude of, you know, eh. I'll take care of the customers, the guests, and not think too much of it. Whatever happens, happens. So I think it's going to be a good day. I'll check back in a little bit with a topic. So I was thinking a little bit about the insane behavior that I had when I was drinking. And just all of the crazy stuff that I would do and think while under the influence. And I just can't believe that I actually lived that way. Now, truth be told, a lot of the behaviors, a lot of the thinking has spilled over into my sober life. So I definitely have a lot of work to do on, my way of thinking and the actions that I take. And one of the things was being absolutely obsessive. I would obsess about everything. Now, I would definitely obsess about alcohol. That's pretty much a given. I would have to know where my drink was coming, where my next drink was coming from, how much alcohol I had left so I could manage, throughout the day, throughout the night, and things like that. I would even go into my bank account, and if there was only like $2 in my bank account, and there was like $3 on another card that I could utilize, then I would find out where I could go, what liquor store, what gas station I could go to get a nip of a bottle of wine or a small bottle of vodka or something like that. With that small amount of money combined. So I would definitely obsess about alcohol. But it would extend way past alcohol. If someone would say something to me and I would take it one way, then I would think about it for hours. I would just replay what happened over and over and over and over in my head and just sit and mull on it and obsess about it. And I just couldn't get it out of my mind. So I would drink more, but then it'd cause me to obsess even more. And that obsession affected everything in my life. I would obsess about the people in my life. I would obsess about bills because I just didn't pay them. My phone was shut off on multiple occasions for months at a time because I used all of my money to buy alcohol, so I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't pay insurance. I couldn't pay my taxes. I couldn't pay rent. I couldn't pay anything. And so all of these things would start piling up. And so the obsession would grow and grow and grow until it was just this mammoth cloud hanging over my head all of the time. Now, the obsession has definitely not left now that I'm sober. I find that I obsess about things not to the extent that I used to, but I still obsess about different things in my life. You know, whenever I open up my pack of cigarettes to take one out, I count those cigarettes. It's kind of weird, right? I count my cigarettes. That way I know that I can manage, you know, how many I have before I can get to buy my next pack. Still another alcoholic trait, I'm sure. But yeah, and I still replay conversations in my head and think about different ways I could have handled things. Or even if the conversations haven't happened yet, if I know that I'm going to have a conversation, I'll start dictating in my head exactly how that conversation is going to go. So I'm going to say this, and they're going to say this, and then I'm going to respond with this. And I'll replay it over and over and over in my head. So that obsession still lingers within me, but I don't get as worked up about it, which is nice. You know, I'm not completely stressing out and causing myself to get so anxious that you know, I start getting a tightening in my chest and hard to breathe and you know, just getting frustrated and things like that. So the obsession, while it hasn't left, it has definitely subsided to a manageable amount, which is I can work with that. I know that there's still work to do, but you know, I can work with it. It's not so overpowering that I just shut it off and drink until I pass out or whatever. But obsession is definitely a factor of the alcoholic mind. Also, while I was drinking, I would be really, really sneaky. Another part of the alcoholic mind. So instead of coming home and opening up the door like a normal person, I would slowly put the key in and turn the lock to slightly and as quietly as possible open the door. And then I'd slowly turn the handle and creak open the door because I didn't really want anyone to know whether or not I was home because probably had a bottle with me. And I'd hide the bottle in like my pocket or in a bag that I had. And after creaking open the door, I'd tiptoe to my room, being as quiet as possible, so that I could drink in my room without anyone knowing whether or not I was home. I would also sneak around the house because my last roommate had a full-blown liquor cabinet. And I'd creak open the door while everyone else was asleep, and I'd slowly pull out a bottle, lightly twist off the cap, take a big glove, put on the cap, sneak the bottle in so it wouldn't make any noise, and then creak the door closed, and then tiptoe back to my room. And I do that over and over and over again throughout the day. Now, you know, I still have some of those elements, but I'm not so conscious of you know, being as quiet and as sneaky as I was. You know, I kind of live a little more proud today. I live a little more proud today because I'm not as embarrassed and as guilt-ridden as I was when I was drinking. So that has definitely alleviated since I stopped drinking and became sober. Another aspect of the alcoholic mind that I'm realizing I had was a compulsive behavior. So I would get an idea in my head and then I'd immediately do it without any thought process behind it whatsoever. So there were several occasions where I'd be drinking and I just buy a weekend at a hotel. No reason. I didn't need to. I wasn't planning, a getaway or anything. I just buy a hotel. I remember one time, when Ryan and I started dating, a couple months in, I was drinking and he had no idea about the extent or my past or anything. I bought a hotel willy nilly at the Four Seasons in the Lake of the Ozarks. Did I have the money for it? Should I have spent the money on a hotel? Absolutely not. But I'd just start drinking, and then I'd go to the mall and I'd buy myself a Tiffany ring, or I'd buy myself some expensive cologne. Any thought that popped in my head, I would jump on the bandwagon. I would jump on it and do it. And now I'm, I take a minute to take a step back, analyze, what it is I'm thinking, lay out the pros and cons of taking that action, and, making a decision on whether or not I should do it, whether it's the right time to do it, whether or not I'm in a good place, or is this, just a compulsion, or is this something that will benefit me in the future? So that compulsive behavior, I thought about it, I got to do it right now. That's a little craziness. But that's what alcohol did to me. It would just, it gave me, it just put me in go mode. It just put me, I thought about it, I got to do it right now. And gosh, it's just so much better now to actually have a rational thought and actually think of things logically, because I am a pretty logical person most of the time, and I'm not drinking today, so I have a little bit of money in the bank. It's not much, but it's definitely more than I had when I was drinking. It would never shock me when I opened up my bank account and saw a negative. It would never shock me. Now, I don't have to, well, I do have to worry about that, but it would definitely shock me a little more if I was in the negative. Another thing I started to realize about my thinking when I was drinking was being really judgmental. I would be at my lowest low, stinking drunk on a bus because I'd lost my car, couldn't afford insurance, and I would start judging the people sitting next to me. They had a dirty t-shirt on, or they were carrying their groceries home on the bus. And I'd be right there with them, but I wouldn't see that part of it. I would just see them in their tragicness. I was sitting in jail and, judging the other people in jail. Jesus, what a white trash piece of crap. It was just insane. And yesterday I was making a deposit at the bank, and a homeless guy, was walking around the parking lot. And the first thought I had was, well, I haven't completely dismissed my judgmentalness, was don't look at him, don't look at him, don't look at him. I'm like, please don't talk to me, because I know he's either going to want money or a cigarette or rob me. But then I was able to process that and actually take pity on him, because that could have been me. I'm fortunate in the fact that I have a support system that is helping me out, so that isn't me. But that very easily could have. And so actually being able to take a step back and take empathy on someone else's situation is definitely a blessing, and not something that I would have been able to do while drinking. But I hope you're getting value out of these videos. If you are, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have aspects of your alcoholic mind, I'd love to hear about it. Comment below and, let's have a discussion about it. I'd love to hear about them. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. Again, it's my Friday, so wishing you all the best. Take care.